Good morning, children. How are you all? Okay, I am also fine. And today we are going to study about the new lesson, that is the carbon and its compounds. Okay, so here the carbon and its compounds. This chapter we are going to study about the carbon compounds. So what are the carbon compounds? What is the carbon? What is the atomic number of carbon? Electronic configuration of carbon, and by which bond formation the carbon compounds are formed. In the last class, whatever we have studied in the chapter metals and non-metals, there we have studied the ionic compounds. The compounds usually formed by the transfer of electrons, so that is the ionic bond. But here in carbon, which type of bond formation takes place, we have to study in detail. Okay, so here the carbon compounds, the carbon and its compounds. So here the carbon and its compounds. In this chapter, now we have to study the carbon. First we will study about the carbon. Carbon is a metal or non-metal, and all we have to study here. So here carbon, about the carbon, the chemical symbol of carbon, chemical symbol capital letter C. The chemical symbol of carbon is capital letter C, that is a capital C, and atomic number atomic number 6. The carbon atomic number is 6. And carbon usually is a non-metal. Carbon is a non-metal. Carbon has the 4 valence. That's the valence number of carbon is 4. Okay. So here the carbon chemical symbol C, atomic number 6, non-metal, and the electronic configuration of carbon. So the electronic configuration of carbon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Okay, 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. So here the electronic configuration of carbon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. The outermost orbit, the outermost shell consisting of only here the 4 electrons, which the 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. That is the atomic number of carbon is 6. And here just here the K shell. So the first shell, that is called as a K shell. So this K shell consisting of the 2 electrons here, and L shell, it consisting of only 4 electrons. 2 plus 4, 6 electrons in the carbon. So that's why the atomic number of carbon is 6, means it's having the 6 electrons. The outermost orbit, it's having only 4 electrons. Okay, so to share, or here the carbon, to transfer the 4 atoms, means to gain or to lose 4 electrons, it is not easy. That's why carbon, instead of transferring the electrons, it will share the electrons. The sharing of electron takes place here. Okay, usually if the transfer of electrons takes place, it is nothing but the ionic compounds or ionic bond formation, but the sharing of electrons. So usually the compounds formed by sharing of electrons are called as the covalent compounds. So covalent compound is nothing but by the sharing of electrons takes place. So what are the covalent compounds? The compounds formed by sharing of electrons are called as covalent compounds. Okay, so in carbon, so it is not easy to transfer 4 electron or to gain the 4 electron. okay, for its nucleus. That's why the carbon instead of transferring, there is a sharing takes place. So that sharing of electrons is nothing but that is called as what? The covalent compounds or covalent bond. So what is ionic bond and what is the covalent bond? Ionic bond is nothing but the bond is formed by the transfer of electrons is called as the ionic bond. What is the covalent bond? The bond is formed by the sharing of electron is called as the covalent bond. Okay, here in carbon, that is a sharing of electrons takes place in carbon. Okay, so this is about what the carbon and covalent bond. Just see here once again. So carbon is nothing but the carbon is a non-metal, and the chemical symbol of carbon is capital letter C. Atomic numbers of carbon is a 6, and carbon is a non-metal. And the valence of carbon is a 4. That is the outermost electrons. The number of presence of electrons in the outermost orbit is 4. Hence, the electronic configuration of carbon, that is 1s2, 2s2, and 2p2, and it's having the 4 valence. So valence number is 4. And the occurrence of the carbonics are usually almost in our Earth, most of the compounds are made by the carbons. Whatever our food, whatever we are having the food, that is also carbon content. Our body is made up of a carbon content, and medicines are made up of a carbon contents. Petroleum products, coal. Okay, these all almost all fossil fuels are the carbon products. How we can identify the carbon products? Okay, carbon almost all the compounds are made by the all the substances are made by the what? The carbon contents. Okay, so when you burn the carbon during the combustion process, when you burn the carbon in presence of oxygen, so here it releases what? Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will be formed. That is, we can easily identify whether the compounds are carbon. The compounds contain carbon or not by burning process. Okay, if you burn the carbon compounds, it releases what? Carbon dioxide. So that is by the combustion process. Okay, so here the carbon, the availability means the compounds, carbon compounds, almost all the materials, substances, even the living organisms body, whatever food we are having, medicines, fossil fuels, all are made by the carbon compounds. Okay. So and next, after this, we have to study about the versatile nature of a carbon. Okay. So the versatile nature of carbon, and in that we have to study about the catenation and tetravalency. Okay, carbon is a tetravalency, and depending upon the long chain formation, in the carbon, that is a carbon shows some properties. So that is a catenation as well as carbon tetravalency of carbon and all. So we have to study that one. Okay, just see here. Now we have to study about the carbon, the versatile nature in carbon. Okay, just see here. Okay, so here the versatile nature in carbon, that is a carbon catenation. So catenation, what do you mean by catenation here? The carbon catenation is nothing but carbon has a special property, that is forming or combining by the sharing of electron to form the long chain, or branched chain or rings formation. So that property is nothing but the catenation. Catenation is nothing but the combining capacity of carbon to carbon atoms or the other atoms, that is called as what? Catenation. By the catenation process, the carbon forms a long chain of carbons or branched chain of carbons or the rings of the carbons, the carbon rings. Okay. So the next here, the carbon, by showing this property only, the carbon compounds are more in the in our Earth. So because of that catenation and all, means by the catenation we will find so many number of carbon compounds with with a different nature. Okay. The next here one the allotropes of carbon. Allotropes of carbon means so what are the allotropes of carbon here? So what do you mean by allotropes? Allotropes are nothing but these are having same physical properties and different chemical properties. Okay, sorry. These are having the same chemical properties and different chemical properties are called. The allotropes are nothing but they are having the same chemical properties and different physical properties are called as what? The allotropes. For example, take a diamond. Diamond is also allotropic form of carbon, but physically diamond is different, and the coal and petroleum, these are also the forms of carbon. Chemically they are made up of same, but physically they are made up of difference. So that is called as the allotropes. So carbon allotropes. What are allotropes here? Allotropes are nothing but the compounds having the elements having same or the compounds having the same chemical properties with different physical properties are called as what? The allotropes. Allotropic forms of carbon. That is a amorphous and crystalline nature. So that is a diamond is one of the example. That is a diamond. It is a same chemical properties, but physically its occurrence is different, and the fossil fuels, and all, there is a chemically they are same, but physically they are different. So that is called as what? The allotropes. The next one, carbon compounds. Okay, that is a catenation. And the next one is the, after this we have to study about the tetravalent. So what do you mean by tetravalent? Tetra means 4. Tetravalent. Okay, carbon is a tetravalent. Carbon is a tetravalent. Okay, so tetravalent means what? So usually the carbon is a tetravalent. Tetra means 4. Tetra means what? 4. Usually carbons, the valence of carbon already we have read the outermost orbit. So in the first shell, carbon consists of 2 electrons, and the second orbit consisting of 4 electrons. So the outermost orbit contains 4 electrons, hence its valency number is 4. Valence is 4. So the carbon is a tetravalent. So carbon, why the carbon is tetravalent? There are 4 free electrons present in the 4 electrons present in the outermost orbit in the carbon. So that's why it is called as a tetravalent. And because of this property, tetravalency, here the carbon, it is not easy to transfer 4 electrons or to gain the 4 electrons. Hence here the carbon, instead of ionic bond formation or ionic bond, instead of transferring, it will get sharing. The sharing of electrons, that is called as a what? The covalent bond or covalent compounds. The carbon compounds usually they form the compounds by sharing of electrons. That is the covalent compounds. Carbon compounds usually forms the new compounds by sharing of electrons. That is called as what? The covalent compounds. Okay. So here, what are covalent compounds here? Covalent compounds are nothing but the compounds formed by sharing of electrons are called as the covalent compounds. Okay. What are ionic compounds? Ionic compounds are nothing but the compounds formed by the transfer of electrons. If it is transfer of electrons, then it is called as what? The ionic bond formation. If it is sharing of electrons, then it is called as what? Covalent compounds. Okay. So here the covalent compounds, because the carbon is a tetravalent and it is not easy to gain 4 electrons or to lose the 4 electrons. Hence, carbon shows the special property, so that is called as a covalency or covalent property. Okay. So here, by the covalent compounds, the carbon usually, if one pair of electrons is shared between the atoms, okay, between 2 atoms, if one pair of electrons shared, then it is a single bond. If there is a two pairs of electrons are shared, then it is called as a double bond. If there is a 3 pairs of electrons shared, then it is called as a triple bond. Single bond, double bond, triple bond carbon compounds are there. That is a single bond formation, double bond formation, and triple bond formation. Okay, just here, usually a molecule of hydrogen, there is a single bond between hydrogen atoms. Okay, so see here first single bond between hydrogen atoms. Okay, so see here hydrogen. What is the atomic number of hydrogen? 1. 1 is the atomic number. It means the outermost atom having only 1 electron. So it's having only 1 electron, and one more hydrogen. So that is here. It is also having 1 electron. Okay, so these single bond between the hydrogen atoms. So it becomes what? A single bond H, single bond H. This single bond, it indicates nothing but it's having the one pair of electrons. So one pair of electrons or 2 electrons are there in each single bond. So H, single bond H, it is nothing but a pair of electrons. So here the single bond formation between this bond formation is nothing but the covalent bond formation. Covalent means what? Is sharing of electrons. These two are sharing the electrons. Each hydrogen atom sharing one electrons. It becomes what? One pair of electrons are shared. Hence, carbon, the hydrogen single bond hydrogen. So this bond formation is nothing but what it is called as a single bond formation or covalent bond formation. Single covalent bond formation. Okay. So the next after this oxygen, the double bond between the oxygen atoms. Okay, just here the double bond between the oxygen atoms. Okay, double bond between the oxygen atoms. So oxygen, what is that here? Oxygen O is having atomic number 8. The atomic number of oxygen is 8. The first orbit, in the first orbit there are 2 electrons. In the oxygen there are 2 electrons in the first orbit. Okay, and in the second outermost orbit, so there are 6. If you consider outermost orbit, there are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So togetherly there is a 8. It means here the sharing to complete the octet rule, there are 2 electrons needed. Okay, there are 2 electrons needed to complete this octet rule. That's why it is a one oxygen atom consisting of, it needs 2 electrons. There is a bond formation between the 2 oxygen atoms. The double bond formation between the 2 oxygen atoms. It means just here. Okay, so here one pair, 2 electrons. So totally 4 electrons formation. There is a 4 electron formation. Already oxygen 2 dot structure is okay. See here, when we consider this oxygen here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The octet rule is obeyed here. The next here, oxygen 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 oxygens. Means according to that octet rule, the oxygen atoms means the sharing between the 2 molecules, the 2 atoms of oxygen combines to form the oxygen molecules. For example, oxygen, there are 4 electrons shared. If one pair of electrons shared, then it is a one bond. If 2 pairs means a double bond. Oxygen, double bond, oxygen. We can write like this: O double bond, O. O double bond, O means what here? There are 4 electrons shared. Okay, 4 electrons shared between the 2 oxygen atoms. So this is called as a double bond. Double covalent bond. Okay, so double bond is nothing but it takes place between the oxygen atoms. Okay, each oxygen atom requires 2 electrons for the octet rule. So between the two oxygen sharing takes place. So that is nothing but the double bond. Each bond means one pair of electrons. there are 4 electrons shared means that is a double bond, 4 bonds. Okay, so how we can read this one? Oxygen double bond, oxygen. Okay, so that is a O2. Okay, right now O2. Okay, it's nothing but the O double bond O. Okay, O double bond O, because here the two oxygen atoms formed by the which bond formation there? There is a covalent bond formation. Okay, so the last class we have studied about the ionic bond formation. Completely transfer of electrons takes place there, but here there is no transfer of electrons. Instead of transferring, they are sharing between them. So that is what the covalent bond formation. Okay, so here this is the what double bond between the oxygen atoms. There is a double bond between what the oxygen atoms. So this is what the double bond. And next triple bond. Triple bond between the nitrogen atoms. Okay, this here triple bond between two nitrogen atoms. Triple bond between two nitrogen atoms. Okay, triple bond means one pair of electrons sharing means single bond. Two pair of electrons sharing means double bond. If there is a 3 pairs of electrons are sharing, then it is called as a triple bond. Okay, just here nitrogen. So already you know that nitrogen out here in the nitrogen totally there are what is the atomic number of nitrogen? What is the atomic number of nitrogen? Anybody? Okay, see here the nitrogen is nothing but here first one hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen. Okay, so nitrogen and then next oxygen. The atomic number of nitrogen is 7. Okay, 7 means what here? The atomic number of nitrogen is 7. 7 we can write 2. Okay, then 5. 2, 5. Okay, so electronic configuration or in the first orbit 2 electrons. In the next there are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It needs 3 electrons. It needs how much? 3 electrons. Okay, so that's why so here 1, 2 nitrogen 1, 2. Okay, so this nitrogen in the outermost there are 5 electrons. 1, 2, 3. From this nitrogen 1, 2, 3. So now just here this obeys the octet rule. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 electrons are here totally 3 pairs of electrons are sharing. 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pairs. Means 6 electrons are sharing. If between the two